What is up, people of the world? It is Jerry. I am on my way to Ryan Wright's place to shoot a review of the film I just got out of, which is Godzilla 2014. Yes, that's correct. Godzilla's back. He's big and bad and stuff. Alright, so I gotta get something out of the way first. There needs to be no confusion because we have two directors of similar names who have risen to prominence recently. So as not to get confused with Gareth Evans, who is behind the ever-popular Raid movies, this film is directed by a guy called Gareth Edwards. Gareth Edwards is responsible for a movie I really want to see, I haven't seen yet, called Monsters. It's an independent film that he did a whole bunch of stuff on. He like wrote and directed and edited and I think he even acted in it, maybe. He did like a lot of the VFX stuff. So I haven't seen that movie, like I said, but it seemed like, from everything I've heard about it, that Gareth Edwards would be a very cool and interesting choice for Godzilla. And I think that rings true. I was a bit worried going in, like, oh, I don't know, are they gonna let him, you know, be creative with this? And it seems like they did. I really enjoyed this movie. I really do. And I don't want to talk in too much depth about it because part of what was so great about it was just the amount of things that surprised me and that I wasn't expecting. I tried to stay away from most all of the promotional material for this, like I do with most movies. You know, I'd seen the trailer a while ago a couple times, and I saw one clip, very tiny, like literally very small, on one of Ryan's videos. So that's all I'd seen for this movie, and I'm really happy about that. And from what I can tell from its advertising, they actually do a really good job of pitching you the mood and the vibe of the movie, while still really concealing a lot of the secrets and stuff. There are a lot of characters I wasn't expecting to be prominent, a lot of things that happened that just wasn't, you know, exactly the kind of movie I was expecting, and I'm really happy about that. This feels like an honest Godzilla movie, and it feels like it was made with a lot of love. I really like the cast. Aaron Johnson I thought was really good. Bryan Cranston is always really good. Ken Watanabe I really liked. I just really liked what he did with the performance. David Strathairn, Elizabeth Olsen, everybody who's in this prominently does a really good job, and the movie really does rest on its cast because so much of it is locked into their perspective, which keeps this from, I really like Pacific Rim, but Pacific Rim, you know, is kind of like a Godzilla versus robots kind of a thing. A lot of people were talking about Godzilla when that movie came out, and this movie really avoids being that sort of thing, while still delivering on what felt to me like a very appropriate amount of monster action. I can understand how some people might feel, as I've heard it said, that there's not enough Godzilla or there's not enough action. Personally, I thought they handled it really well, and that partly comes from how they chose to anchor the story, I guess I would say. This movie has a very sort of dready tone. Like, it's not like overly serious, like it still manages to be fun, but it does have this, you know, sense of dread. It's a monster movie, you know, so the monster is big and ominous, and everything sort of goes to support that. The visual look of the film, Seamus McGarvey's cinematography, is really good. It's not necessarily like flashy, but it's really well captured. There are a lot of gorgeous shots and really clever transitions and things like that. The camera, just the way the movie is composed visually is really flowing and really well done. The music as well, the score by Alexandre Desplat is, I thought, fantastic. It has this very retro throwback vibe. There's a lot of brass and stuff like that. A lot of the instruments that you don't hear as much anymore or in these kinds of movies now. So that was a real treat, as far as I'm concerned anyway. And the way the film sort of zips back and forth between different characters, and even glimpses into these little moments with people around and stuff like that, I thought was really cool. So really everything kind of works together for me in making this a really successful movie. You know, I really like the actors, I really like the stories they got. There are so many really clever transitions and really clever little glimpses you get into the lives of the people who are going going through this. So yeah, I'm really glad it worked out, and you know, I'm excited to talk about it with Ryan, see what he thought. But I love this movie. I think highly recommended. So let's talk about this. If you've seen the film, what did you think? Obviously, and what's your favorite Godzilla movie? Let's talk about that, because there are so many. Godzilla's kind of like the James Bond of monsters. So yeah, that's it for now. Godzilla is the film. I am Jerry. Cheers.